There are many signs that will tell us that the day of judgment is near, and in recent times, these signs have become more evident. Thus, the Muslim Ummah should be aware of this, and each person should prepare himself by being virtuous and abstaining from sin. The 77 minor signs of Qiyamat. 1. Time will pass rapidly. 2. Good deeds will decrease. 3. People will become miserly. 4. There will be much killing and murder. Hazrat Abu Huraira narrates that the Holy Prophet said, "Time will pass rapidly. Good deeds will decrease. Miserliness will be thrown in the hearts of the people. Afflictions will appear, and there will be much al-harj." They said, "O Allah's Messenger, what is al-harj?" He said, "Killing, killing." 5. Power and authority will be given to wrong people. Sign number 6 tells us that honesty will be lost. Hazrat Abu Huraira narrates an incident where a Bedouin asked the Holy Prophet, "When will the hour take place?" Despite the Holy Prophet continuing his talk, he later addressed the question, stating, "When honesty is lost, then wait for the hour." The Bedouin inquired, "How will that be lost?" To which the Holy Prophet explained, "When the power or authority comes in the hands of unfit persons, then wait for the hour." This profound dialogue highlights the critical nature of honesty in society. Moving on, sign number 7 warns of the disappearance of knowledge and the appearance of ignorance, a troubling shift that signals the approach of the Day of Judgment. As we progress to sign number 10, we find that two large groups, adhering to the same religious teaching, will engage in a battle with large numbers of casualties. This is further elaborated by Hazrat Abu Huraira, who narrated that Allah's Messenger said the hour will not be established until such a battle occurs among other signs. These include the increase in earthquakes, sign number 11, and an abundance of wealth, making it difficult to find someone in need of zakat, which is sign number 12. Sign 13 is when people begin to compete with others in constructing taller buildings. The 14th sign is particularly somber. A man will pass by a grave and wish that he was in their place. Lastly, sign 15 points to a significant historical event, the conquest of Constantinople by the Muslims. Following the conquest of Constantinople, sign number 16 unfolds with a dramatic prophecy. Hazrat Abu Huraira reported that Allah's Messenger predicted that the Romans would land at Al-Amaq or in Dabiq, leading to a great battle involving the best soldiers of that time from Medina. This battle would see a third of the army fleeing, a third dying as martyrs, and the remaining third victorious. This victorious group would face a deception by Satan about the Dajjal's appearance, leading them to rush to Syria, where they would prepare for another battle. At this critical moment, Jesus, son of Mary, would descend and lead them in prayer. Upon his arrival, the enemy would dissolve just as salt in water, showcasing a miraculous victory. Sign number 16 reveals the profound interconnections between divine intervention and earthly battles as the Day of Judgment approaches. Narrated by Hazrat Anas bin Malik, the Holy Prophet said, "The last hour will not come until people vie with one another about mosques." This striving for power about mosques is just one of the signs. Adultery and fornication will become prevalent, as noted in multiple hadiths from Bukhari, Muslim, and Ibn Majah. Additionally, there will be widespread cheating with goods, as mentioned in Ibn Majah. The burden of paying zakat will be felt heavily, and miserliness will become widespread. Charity will be given reluctantly, according to Tirmidhi and Ibn Majah. Finally, leaders will not rule according to the commands of Allah, signaling further departure from divine guidance. Moving on to the next signs, the leader of a people will be the worst of them, as recorded in Tirmidhi. A trust will also be used to make a profit, showing a degradation of moral values. Social and familial structures will be upended when a man obeys his wife and disobeys his mother, and treats his friend kindly while shunning his father, as described in Tirmidhi. Another troubling sign will be when voices are raised in the mosques, indicating a loss of respect and serenity in places of worship. As we continue, men will begin to wear silk, which is a departure from traditional prohibitions noted in Tirmidhi. Female singers and musical instruments will become popular, marking a shift in cultural norms, also mentioned in Tirmidhi. A significant sign of decay in communal respect and unity will be when the last ones of the Ummah begin to curse the first ones. Hazrat Ali ibn Abi Talib narrated that the Prophet said, "If my Ummah bears 15 traits, tribulation will befall it." These traits include when any gain is shared out only among the rich, with no benefit to the poor, when a trust becomes a means of making a profit, when paying zakat becomes a burden, when a man obeys his wife and disobeys his mother, and treats his friend kindly, while shunning his father, when voices are raised in the mosques, when the leader of a people is the worst of them, when people treat a man with respect because they fear some evil he may do, when much wine is drunk, when men wear silk, when female singers and musical instruments become popular, when the last ones of this Ummah curse the first ones, then let them expect a red wind, or the earth to swallow them, or to be transformed into animals. Lastly, the nations of the earth will gather against the Muslims like hungry people going to sit at a table full of food. This will occur when the Muslims are large in number, but like the foam of the sea, indicating a lack of substance despite appearances. Moving forward in our exploration of the signs, we find that the Muslim conquest of Jerusalem is a significant prophecy. Furthermore, a great plague, possibly referring to the plague of Amwas during the caliphate of Hazrat Umar ibn al-Khattab, will spread over the land. Wealth will become so abundant that even if a man were given 10,000, he would not be content. A trial will emerge in Arabia, sparing not a single household. Additionally, a precarious treaty will be made between the Muslims and the Westerners, which they will eventually breach with an army of 12,000 soldiers under 80 banners. Hazrat Auf bin Malik reported these events, saying he visited the Holy Prophet during the Battle of Tabuk. The Prophet mentioned these signs as precursors to the last hour, including the contagious disease, the excess of wealth, and the deceptive treaty. Another sign mentioned is that books and writing will be widespread, yet religious knowledge will be low. As we delve deeper into the signs, it is said that people will beat others with whips resembling the tails of oxen, possibly alluding to the horrors of the slave trade. Children will be filled with rage and will become foul in behavior. Women will conspire, adding further to the societal upheaval. Another environmental sign will be rain that is acidic or burning, likely a reference to the phenomenon of acid rain. Advancing towards the conclusion of our list, we observe that episodes of sudden death will become more widespread. People will appear as brethren in public yet be enemies in secret, driven by ulterior motives and mutual distrust. The Prophet explained this when asked, highlighting the secretive enmity that will pervade social interactions. Lastly, a decline in modesty will be evident as people will walk in marketplaces with their thighs exposed, signaling a shift in societal norms and values. As we delve deeper into the signs, number 51 tells us that great distances will be traversed in short spans of time, hinting at the advent of modern vehicles and airplanes. Sign 52 reveals that the people of Iraq will receive no food and no money, suffering under the oppression of the Romans, or what we know today as Europeans and Americans. The 53rd sign describes people hopping between the clouds and the earth, a metaphor perhaps pointing towards the advancements in air travel or space exploration. Sign 54 notes the commonality of singers, indicating a shift in societal norms and values. Moving on to sign 56, it highlights individuals who will claim to follow the Quran but will reject the Hadith and Sunnah, creating divisions within the community. Sign 57 speaks of people who will believe in the stars, delving into astrology over astronomy. The 58th sign warns of those who will reject Al-Qadr, the divine decree of destiny, showing a detachment from foundational Islamic beliefs. Sign 60 points out that while people will continue with their trade, only a few trustworthy persons will remain, emphasizing the decline in moral values. Sign 61 envisions attempts to make the deserts green, a possible reference to modern agricultural advancements or environmental efforts. Sign 62 portrays women who will be naked despite being dressed, leading and being led astray, reflecting moral and societal decay. Sign 63 prophesies the conquest of India by the Muslims just prior to the return of Prophet Jesus, son of Mary, marking a significant event in Islamic eschatology. Lastly, sign 64 foretells that there will be a special greeting for the people of distinction, hinting at a new social hierarchy or respect for certain individuals. Sign 67 reveals years of deceit, where the truthful person will not be believed and the liar will be believed. Sign 68 warns that bearing false witness will become widespread. The 69th sign is when men lie with men and women lie with women. Finally, the 70th sign shows that trade will become so widespread that a woman will be forced to help her husband in business. Continuing from the 70th sign, trade will not only become widespread but also a necessity, compelling a woman to assist her husband in business. The 71st sign is a woman entering the workforce out of love for this world. The 72nd sign indicates an increase in arrogance on the earth. The 73rd, family ties will be cut. By the 74th sign, many women of childbearing age will no longer give birth. The 75th sign warns of an abundance of food, much of which has no blessing in it. The 76th sign shows that people will refuse when offered food. And the 77th, men will begin to look like women, and women will begin to look like men. May Allah protect us all from such fitna. May Allah protect us all from such fitna. Let it sink into you that all these predictions were made by the last prophet of Islam more than 1400 years ago. Let the reality of these prophecies being witnessed in current era echo the gravity of these warnings.